aliens. Not the ones coming from the southern border, but actual green-faced, black-eyed aliens. And the Defense Department said so. Let me explain. Last week, I said it was the end of the world as we know it, and I don't feel fine. I stand by that statement. Because what is happening? 3 more mysterious balloons of sorts have been shot down over the weekend, and Joe is so proud of himself.
Anything to say about the object shot down over Alaska, Mr. President?
It's confirmed, especially after last week's State of the Union, that Joe is no longer able to say more than one word at a time without blurgagurting.
Make no mistake, if you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it.
Success! Yes, Joe wants to brag about all the good things he's done for this country, and he tweeted it. America is back and we're leading the world again. Before we get to it, let's get to this week's question. If aliens are really here, what will they say to Joe? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and then share this video with your friends because you have good insights. Like a lot of you told me of the wonderful things you did last week instead of watching the State of the Union. You were much more productive than anyone in the House chambers. You watched old movies, you slept, you hung out with grandkids. Keep it up. We definitely need more of that. We don't need this.
I'm just, I loved E.T., the movie, but I'm just going to leave it there.
Yes, we are somewhere between an E.T. and an Independence Day. But if the aliens have seen our last few years of crazy, I'm going with the latter. And we should respond in kind.
All right, you alien assholes. In the words of my generation, up yours!
Except our leadership is more like Cousin Eddie than Russell Case. And while in that scene, Bill Pullman, the President of the United States, is up there trying to save the world with the rest of the military, our own president, in real life, is doing other, much less productive things. But maybe he'll be calling out to the aliens in due time.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Nothing is off the table at this point, because the Defense Department has not ruled out aliens. Yes, aliens, as the source for the 3 flying objects that were shot down over the weekend, specifically the one shot down over Alaska.
Because you still haven't been able to tell us what these things are that we are shooting out of the sky, that raises the question, have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials? And if so, why? Because that is what everyone is asking us right now.
Thanks for the question, Helene. I'll let the intel community and the counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything at this point.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I guess this is really happening.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down!
Here's what we know. 3 more balloons, or objects, have been shot down around North America since the original shoot down of the Chinese spy balloon on February 4th. Over the weekend, we had the car-sized object over Alaska, a second object over Yukon, Canada, and then a third over the Great Lakes near Michigan. Who those things belong to or what they were doing up there remains to be seen. But why did the U.S. shoot down something that was over Canada?
Why is the American military shooting something out of the sky over Canada?
Because it's part of NORAD. There is the NORAD is part of like it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium,
a pact of nations.
A pact,
okay.
Exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
Canada. Yeah. But what does she know? She is an alien denier.
I know there have been questions and concerns about this, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Again, there is no indication of aliens or terrestrial activity with these recent takedowns.
Please cancel her. That is such hate speech she is spewing. Also, the fact that she had to read that statement instead of easily stating the fact, further provides proof of her incompetence. On the note of cancellation, I just have two questions. Number one, where is the Space Force when you need them?
I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the sixth branch of the armed forces. That's a big statement.
And it's so important from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, from every standpoint there is. As you know, China, Russia, perhaps others started off a lot sooner than us. We should have started this a long time ago, but we've made up for it in spades.
China. Russia. The Biden administration on Monday issued a travel advisory to not travel to Russia due to unpredictable consequences of the unprovoked full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russian military forces. That's swell. And then we know it was China for the original spy balloon, which leads to the second question. Are we allowed to say Chinese spy balloon, which would indicate origin? We were all canceled in 2020 and 2021 when we labeled something, I don't know, like a virus that originated in a certain city of a certain country. We were a bunch of racist, bigoted xenophobes when we called the virus by its origin location. Someone just let me know in the comments. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't comment on what happened Sunday night, because after all, there is a direct connection to the rest of the weekend's activities. It was not just in the sky. There was a whole mess of other balloons frolicking free in front of the largest sporting event in America, Super Bowl Sunday. Just look at them go. Maybe those weren't balloons, but rather hazmat suits made in China that were needed in China for that virus that was from China. Anyway, you tried telling me these aren't aliens of some kind.
I cannot believe this. How many of you are there?
I should wear my black hoodie and just walk.
Yeah, you should join them on.
And joining them would have made sense. There were plenty of supporters in the crowd for these non-alien aliens. Yikes. Even more yikes are the stories coming from Ohio and now Texas about the train derailments and chemical spills that the mainstream media won't touch because maybe there's simply too much truth that would be found if it dare take a look. So instead, the Biden administration will gloat about its infrastructure law strengthening bridges across the nation. And then Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg will continue not addressing the real issues and instead yell at the world about those dang white people working on transportation projects.
To work with your contractors, to work with your community colleges on building a workforce that reflects the community. We have heard way too many stories from generations past of infrastructure where you got a neighborhood, often a neighborhood of color, that finally sees the project come to them, but everyone in the hard hats on that project looking like, doing the good paying jobs, don't look like they came from anywhere near the neighborhood.
Right.
You can build community wealth that will help close wealth gaps in this country if we can tear down those barriers. But that happens at the delivery level.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't happen at his level. In fact, only bad things happen at his level. Aliens, spy balloons, train derailments, shootings, sky-high egg prices, and so much more. It's the end of the world, and I don't feel fine, REM, but I do feel other F words, especially faith, family, and friends. And if you care even a little about what's happening in this crazy world, please share the video because people should know. Until next time, stay healthy, America.